Welcome to the next episode of For the Sake of Heaviness. My name is Merciful Mike, and I'm here with my partner in crime.
I'm Butch Balich.
And today we are honored to have with us from the mighty Cauldron. We have
Yes.
Jason Decay and Ian Chains. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us, man.
Thanks for having us.
It's a
Thanks,
pleasure.
guys.
It's a pleasure. Yeah.
Good to see you guys. So I know that it's been a little while since, the world has heard from Cauldron here and there. I know there's been a couple of shows here and there that you guys have done, but can you kind of just bring us up to speed? What's going on over the last 5, 6, 7 years? I know that, things happen and, we went through a pandemic and all that, but just bring us up to speed on what's been going on.
Whole lot of nothing.
Well, it's
No,
been
we-
7 years and we all had kids, so
Yep.
Congratulations.
that's what happened.
That's awesome though. That's a good thing. Families are a good thing. I can speak to that myself.
So yeah, from 2018 we stopped doing anything, and then I guess for about the last 2.5 years we've been slowly working on new music, but
That's good.
it's taken 2.5 years to get about 7 new song ideas. Where we used to
Takes me 2.5 years to drive up to Jason's place. Just yeah. When was I last there? A year ago,
It's been a while now.
I
Yeah,
think.
I go to your place quite more often
Mhm,
because of
mhm.
work. I work in the area, so.
How far apart are you guys, distance wise?
Like 3 hours,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I
That'll do
think.
it.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
Miles pretty far away from you guys too then, or is he closer to one of you?
He's on the way. He's kind of like in between us.
So yeah, Miles is pretty close to me. He's about 40 minutes away.
Oh, okay. As
But
opposed
yeah,
to 2.5 hours for Ian.
we all started leaving the city around, I think Miles left first. Then I left in 2019, moved up here. And then
Okay.
I guess, yeah, Ian moved to Guelph a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I can see
So
where that would present a challenge for getting together for regular practices and whatnot.
yeah, we managed to pull it together a year ago for our first show in 5 years.
Was that the Hell's Heroes? Is that the one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you
But
guys did that two separate times though. Once Jason, you did it with Goathorn, and then Cauldron did it like a year or
No,
two later,
actually,
right?
the last Cauldron show in I think it was 2019 was at Hell's Heroes.
Okay.
Then we didn't play for 5 years, and our first show back was at Hell's Heroes.
We
Okay.
only play at Hell's Heroes.
Apparently,
The house band now.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
they-
no, that would be
Goathorn-
Haunt. That would be
Goat-
Haunt. Haunt.
Goathorn was supposed to
Right.
play. Goathorn was supposed to play in 2023,
Okay.
but we canceled.
Shit happens.
Yeah.
We like canceling big
Cauldron
shows.
would never cancel. Cauldron
No.
never cancels gigs.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what I'm going to do, and I like to do this, just it's a fun conversation, but we're going to go back. Speaking of family, speaking of kids, let's take both of you back to when you were kids. And I want to know what got Jason Decay and Ian Chain into heavy music. What was your gateway band? How did you discover it? Were you introduced by an aunt, a dad? How did it come about? How'd you end up where you are, pretty much?
Well, I had a neighbor next door. He was 5 years older than me. He still is 5 years older than me. Jason Goche.
Funny how that works.
Uh, yeah, he was a big Metallica fan and listened to Metallica. And I think the first song that stuck to me like glue was The Four Horsemen. So I got to thank him for that. But other early bands I can remember was AC/DC and Def Leppard.
Sure.
So those would probably be the three that I heard first. And I was like, this is better than Bryan Adams. I'm gonna stick with this.
But now you're kind of more into Bryan Adams.
Yeah, now I kind of like Bryan Adams a bit more.
I do believe I have a
It-
Cauldron single of you guys doing a Bryan Adams
Yeah.
song, if I'm correct.
I'll run to you, yeah. I
Ooh.
prefer Heaven though.
You got a single? Must be those Brazilians bootlegging that shit.
or, or if it was part of a compilation that you guys released.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah, that was found on the end of a cassette tape and thrown on there at the last minute. Oh yeah, so heavy music.
Sure.
So, I mean, I was always into music, like guitar stuff, and um, I feel like I've mentioned this a lot of times in the past, but my gateway into getting into music, feeling like it was mine, was Huey Lewis and the News. That
Really?
was
Okay.
like, yeah, that was, seeing videos on TV and thinking, my parents don't like this stuff. Like, this is too cool for them. And I still like Huey Lewis, but yeah, I was into like AC/DC and stuff, and taping like the Metallica one video off TV and watching
Sure.
that over and over. But I didn't really get into like heavy metal proper until my sister's boyfriend dubbed me a bunch of stuff like Haunting the Chapel. So I was
Okay.
like 15, I guess, which is I guess late in the game for thrash. I don't know. But yeah, Haunting the Chapel and Show No Mercy on one side of a tape and Ride the Lightning on the other. And that like
Nice.
changed it for me. That would like yeah, change my whole direction. Chemical Warfare, especially
Yeah.
that song. I just listened to that over and over. And then yeah, I started learning guitar and playing along to it, and yeah, here I am. Yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody kind of remembers where they were the first time they heard Chemical Warfare. That was a big one for me too. So,
Where were you, Jason?
I don't remember.
You
oh
don't
man.
remember? What wasn't it
I
like
think I was probably I think I was actually horrified the first time I heard it. It was they were Slayer was a slow burn for me, man. I started with Metallica and then got into Slayer. The vocals were an acquired taste for me. It's Mike and I talk about this all the time. It's funny now looking back that's how extreme I thought vocals were then, like in Venom and Slayer, and now they're like that's like nothing compared to what's come out
Yeah.
since.
That's like
Yeah,
King Fowley
that
saying he doesn't like the guttural stuff.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Butch. You wanted to ask something?
Um, I don't know, like in terms of what's your I'm always like interested in what your writing process is. I know you said you've only, over the last few years you've been able to get like five or so songs together. Is that because you like to be in the same room when you do it, or like do you send files
yeah,
back and forth? You like do it old school?
we're
Like
not
what's the
good at
process you guys use?
we're not good at emailing stuff. It doesn't have the spark. It's
Right.
like a lot of stuff needs to be hashed out in a room together. That's where
Yeah.
a lot of it appears from.
Also, I don't have time to sit down like all day with a guitar anymore.
Yeah.
Like b before I had, a kid, I could do that. I could lock myself away and work on it till it was done, basically. But
Sure.
it's not now I'm lucky if I could pick up a guitar for 5 minutes. And yeah, I don't see Ian for 3 months at a time. And also a big that's also a big part of how like we write songs. Just kind of getting together and
Yeah.
Just bashing out in a room,
Yeah.
and what so
it
if a
hap-
riff comes up that sounds cool, you're like, oh, that sounds cool, let's work on that. Or
yeah, well, he usually has the riffs and I have the ideas to kind of put them together. So
Yeah, and because we don't see each other that often, there's always like a backlog of riffs to go through.
right.
it's yeah, there's such a backlog at this point. It's kind of confusing. I don't know where to start digging in anymore, but
Man, I still got riff tapes from like
I know.
2005 that we can go through.
Don't stress me out.
Yeah. Here's 60 songs for you to work on.
Yeah.
Pick 20 you like, and we'll
So I
work
don't
on those.
know. Another year or two, we'll have a record, I think.
That's outstanding.
Jason,
Well, go ahead, Butch.
sorry, Jason, is your process for writing the melodies, do you just come up with them after you have all the music together and you kind of have a vibe for how the song feels and then you put lyrics, or do you ever come up with have a melody that's kind of in your head and you guys will fit music to it? Or
For the most part, it's the music is done first, and the melody sometimes comes with it. Sometimes it's a little bit forced. The lyrics are always that's like the homework part. That's
Yeah.
I don't like doing the lyrics, but it has to be done, right? So, but
I was,
I find the older I get, I can kind of start with a melody at this point. Like sometimes I get a melody in my head and I can put the notes around it, but that's more of a as I'm getting older thing. For the most part, it's been music first, melody either comes or is forced, and lyrics are always forced. That's
I,
it.
I was going to follow up with that and ask you if you were the type of lyricist that enjoys the writing part of that, or maybe not so
No,
much, but
for the most part, no. I enjoy the music part, but
yeah, lyrics not so much.
The
So yeah,
lyrics are just there to drive the melody
yeah,
across. That's, I mean, I like our lyrics.
yeah,
I think we have distinct lyrics, or very in our own style, or Jason's own style. But yeah, it's all about the melody. I think that's what Cauldron's about.
no,
No,
I
I
think
think
you
it's
guys
it.
have a
Delivering a
great style.
message.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's interesting with lyrics. I know as someone who's sung for years, it how few lyrics I actually know. So when I think about it, I know the amount of time. Like I hate writing lyrics too, and sometimes when I think about it, the amount of time that I spend sweating over lyrics, like, and how few people actually sometimes pay attention to them. That it is that whole, it's the just getting the vibe of it. That's the important thing. But it always strikes me kind of it funny that singer after singer that I've talked to that really don't, that part of it is really like pulling teeth. Like I know Jake from Visigoth. Oh, I talked to him before. He hates writing lyrics, and there's singers we've talked to that it's tough. It's hard. It's hard to
yeah.
avoid cliches sometimes, and sometimes it's okay to have cliches in the songs.
You know what sucks? Lyric videos. It's
Yeah,
like I need like a Mickey Mouse ball bouncing across words. Like I don't want to know what this person's saying. Like
No,
yeah,
sometimes I think it's
just
better to just,
yeah,
have
because
your own
yeah, how many
interpretation.
times I thought like
yeah.
the singer was singing something else and then I read the lyrics and I'm disappointed
yeah.
that it wasn't what I thought.
Anyway,
So you mentioned that there could be an album coming up here sometime soon, within the next year
Well,
or
I
two. I
wouldn't
mean, we're
say
not going to put a,
soon.
yeah, we won't put a date on it or anything. And before we jumped on, I know there's quite a bit of geography between the three of you now, so that whole getting in a room for a little while is more of a task. I mean, if you guys are going to do that, I mean, where do you go? Do you guys have like a somebody's particular house, a garage? You rent some studio time? I mean, now that the dynamic has changed a little bit as far as getting together, how do you go about that?
Well, up where I live, we have a studio next door, like a
Okay.
rehearsal space, but
Oh, okay.
yeah,
the,
Action. That you know the band Action with
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
two
was telling
X's.
Mike about how Kenny's my boss and owns the
Mm.
company, and he also lives next door, and that's where all our gear is
Oh, okay. Okay.
in his garage.
Dude, that's awesome. Works out pretty
Um,
good.
yeah, it's pretty good. It's just, getting the guys up here
Right,
all at the
right.
same time is. I know when we were going to Hell's Heroes, we did rent a rehearsal space in somewhere
Very.
in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it Barry or
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, it was like a like I was sitting there in the parking lot. It was like a industrial, I don't know, there was like a tire shop, and I was like, "You guys here? Like, where the fuck am I?" There was nothing that said rehearsal studio or anything.
Yeah.
And then I see Jason cruising up as slow as possible with all his windows down in mid early March, cranking Snakes by 6 Feet Under. Snakes. Okay,
I
I'm at
forgot about that song.
yeah, I'm at the right place. Yeah.
That's a memory that sticks with you, right?
But yeah, it's convenient having a studio like next door to Jason. Like, yeah, it's great. I've stored my amp up there for years. It's covered in like 3 inches of dust. And
We just store our shit there. We don't use it.
yeah,
It's just
Thanks.
there.
Thanks, Kenny and Emily.
yeah. Well, they're welcome to use my amp whenever they want. But judging by the dust, yeah, it's not happening.
So let me ask you guys this then, because I know you guys released a cassette release of In Ruin and New Gods. And In Ruin was on the End Records, right? And I think New Gods was on Dissonance. So
Yeah.
if you're moving forward, hopefully with a new album, whenever that might be, do you guys still have like a label affiliation, or is that something that needs to get worked on again, or how's that?
Uh, yeah, well, since In Ruin we own our records. We own the
Okay.
first one, we own the last two.
Okay.
We'll own the next one and see who wants to put it out, basically.
Gotcha. So is that a gradual release from Earache then for those early albums? Is that how that's working?
No, so they own three of them.
Yeah.
Uh, they own them. We can't do anything with them.
Okay.
Throughout the known star system,
Yeah.
star systems. Yeah.
No, I know how that goes. I think we all know the story, so I understand that. That's
But I don't know. That was our big break.
sure. No, I completely
So
understand that. It'd be nice, if at some point those would revert back to you guys. I don't know what the fine print says or, what the label's up to, but
yeah,
it'd be nice to have control of that again.
be nice to put them out again,
I agree. I agree. I
Yeah,
would,
it'd be great if those were available for sure.
especially with
Yeah.
how much they go for now on Discogs. It's not really fair. Should just make a couple more.
just
Yeah,
bootleg your own stuff.
I can't understand. I guess I can't understand. I don't. Maybe I just don't understand the economics at labels. I see records all the time on Discogs going for crazy amounts of money, and I don't know why the label just doesn't keep them in print so that people can get them for a reasonable price. Once in a while, you get an artist like Bob Seger that's like, "Oh, I hate that record," and they don't want to put it in print. But most bands that would think want their stuff available. So I don't, I, I guess I just don't understand the economics of it, the pressing costs, and
Right. I'm sure
Yeah,
if we I'm sure if we were still touring, they might have more incentive to want to make some more copies, but
right.
it's kind of hard for us to sell records when we don't tour, so
Yeah, I understand that too.
Speaking of touring, I've been lucky to see you guys a couple times. I saw you at I was some odd location in Pittsburgh where they don't normally have shows. It was you guys, an Enforcer, and Mantic Ritual.
Oh, that's
2009.
like, yeah, old school. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like around the first or second record. Um, Great show. And then I got to see you again around the time of Tomorrow's Lost, I think, at the Altar Bar again with Enforcer. Uh, so I guess my question is like, you're a great, great live band. Like, what are some of your favorite stories from being out on the road? Like, you've been here in Europe, and who did you love? Like, what bands have you really liked playing with? And
Yeah. Well, what makes a good tour is just being around people that are fun to be around. So, Enforcer, yeah, there's a reason we've done way too many tours with those guys. Um, yeah, yeah, a lot of good times with Enforcer. We did that Municipal Waste tour in 2009 as well, and that was I'm surprised we survived that one. That was yeah, we were sharing a bus with those guys. It was just a nonstop party.
Buses are
Um,
bad.
yeah, yeah, they're bad for
You
the
don't
health.
have to work enough. It's too much party time. I always like the
Yeah,
tours where
yeah.
we kind of play with the bands that we look up to and kind of gain their respect and they get to know us a bit. And then I don't know, that's always been very fulfilling to me.
Like
Like,
the Diamond Head tour.
well, maybe the Satan tour,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
I don't know, who else have we played with? Raven. Just
Mm.
some of the bands that we look up to. And once you get to
Hmm.
know them and they respect your band as well, it's very fulfilling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's fun. Yeah, being around those bands, it's good for like story time. Like just quizzing those guys on stuff. Like, um, I remember asking, uh, who was it? I guess it was Russ Tippins from Satan about the Blind Fury record they did when
Hmm.
they changed their name to Blind Fury, and they had that other singer Lou Taylor, and the set like the title track Out of Reach. He does this like that goes on. If you time it, it's like 2 minutes long. It's like what is going on here? So I asked them about that. I was like, "Is that real?" And they're like, "Mate, just because you can doesn't mean you should." But yeah, we're just bugging those guys about stuff like that. It's just fun to hear stories like that. Yeah. So I guess it's a balance between you know, like-minded party tours and like looking up to your hero tours. Um, yeah. Well, on that Waste tour, Brutal Truth was they were they on the whole tour or like half the
No, just
tour?
like the second half or something.
Right. But we would we would try to lure Dan Wilker out from backstage by like sound checking like deep cut riffs. Be like, see if he knows this one. And
Yeah.
then sure enough, we'd see him walk out and just be like, yeah.
If you played a Merciful Fate riff during sound check, sure enough, Danny would come around the corner, come out front. That
All
was fun.
7 feet of them or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're tall, but he's fucking tall.
He's tall, man. Yeah, he's a tall dude.
Yeah, he's a big guy, man. So I'm gonna throw this out there. If it ever comes, this is just Merciful Mike's dream list, dream wish thing. But back in the day, and Butch and I've talked about this too. We used to go to the video store and rent like Iron Maiden video pieces and the Judas Priest live VHS and live for that stuff. But you guys have got such an absolute fantastic video catalog. I would pay tons of money for like a retro box set, like Cauldron video pieces of all of your videos put together because they're so good. And you guys have always kept that. I don't want to say it's humor, but you've always kept that that air of fun, in all the videos that you do, like Nightbreaker and all of those are so good. So have you guys ever considered anything like that where you put everything together into like one single package or
Like
anything?
the Sony video EP. Is that what it
Yeah,
is?
yeah.
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 I don't know.
I don't think we've ever talked about that. I don't.
We
Yeah, we don't. I mean, again, we don't own those earache era
true,
videos either, and those
true.
were kind of the best ones. The money, the big budget ones. So
I don't know. I love it. I think it's the video for All or Nothing is where you guys end up in the garage burning the record albums
yeah,
for heat, right?
yeah,
That's one of my favorite videos. I love watching that. You guys are, losing your jobs and end up in the garage jamming that night, looking for something to throw in the heat. Here goes the Cauldron album.
yeah.
My
Those
favorite
are
part of that. Yeah, my favorite part of that video is when Jason's air drumming in his cubicle and his boss comes out. Who's this guy Gino? He was like a friend of the guy playing my boss in the warehouse. But
Oh, okay.
every time I see Gino walking in shaking his head, I just crack up.
he's definitely the best actor in the
Yeah.
video. I'm overacting.
you, I think it's great though, man. I love watching that video
But I
just
mean,
for
we
that.
still got like I got like 10 mini DV tapes in my closet here of tour footage from probably between 2007, 2010.
Okay, okay.
And my camera broke and we haven't even watched them in 15 years, so there's probably some good stuff on there too.
As I say, you're sitting on a
Like
gold mine of footage, probably.
tour footage wise. Like, I don't even
Oh.
remember what's on there, but I'm sure it's great.
Well, I hope that sees the light of day. I think there's tons of Cauldron fans out there that would eat that up, me included.
That's the best stuff though, like just the mundane,
Yep.
like behind the scenes stuff. I love watching that.
Me
Like,
too.
there's all these Megadeth ones, like From the Vault or whatever, and it's just like backstage Dave Mustaine being a prick to his whole band. Like,
Yeah.
it's just hours of it. Yeah, it's pretty fun to watch.
Yeah. It gives a little bit more of a real view of how things are, either in the
hmm.
studio or on the road or stuff like that. Yeah, I like watching that stuff too. So, speaking of stories, and Butch, jump in here whenever you want. I don't want to dominate here too much. However, the four of us, we have a mutual friend who I talked to prior to this. I was hoping he could kind of jump on as a surprise, but his schedule didn't allow him today. But I'm talking about our good friend John Gallo, Oro Drew, and
Oh
Blizzara.
yeah.
And now this goes back to the goat horn days, Jason. But John was
Yeah.
telling us that you guys stayed with him one time when I think you guys played together. But did you grow up? I know you were close to the New York border. Did you guys grow up watching the House of Guitar commercials?
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
So John told me that because of
And
that, he took you guys to the store.
yeah, and HORC Hobbies. I don't know if it was in the same building, but yeah, the Great House of Guitars.
Yeah, he said that once. I think he said the owner's name was Armand. Kind of, figured out who you guys were. John goes, he opened the secret door to the secret record shop and allowed you guys back there to cruise through records and stuff.
Yeah, that was like a childhood dream come true. I remember they gave us free shirts and stuff. But that's like 20 almost 25 years ago.
Yeah, he said it was a while ago. And then he also wanted to remind you of the time that they came up by you guys and played in Toronto. And right before they were supposed to go on, evidently you guys were just hammering Molson Triple X 40s.
What?
And then him and Rammer smoked everybody up pretty good. And John goes, I don't remember a damn thing about the show except for walking on the stage and walking off the stage.
Right. So that would have been goat horn era, and I
Yeah.
don't remember that either.
I wonder why.
Sounds about right though.
So John wanted to say hi. He's sorry he couldn't join us, but maybe we can all somehow
Hey
get together
John.
again.
Yeah, been a while.
Yeah. Yeah. Good guy. Love
Been
John.
a while.
Well, I think
Blizzaro.
he took Cauldron to the House of Guitars too, I think.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Like yeah, that must have been
Yeah.
what, 2010 or something. Yeah.
Yeah, we stayed at his house a few times too, and he's always given
Mhm.
us records and stuff.
Yeah.
He's a good man. I
Yeah,
love John.
Yeah.
Sounds
I've got
John's awesome. Yeah.
yeah, Nasty Savage picture disc up on the wall that he gave me. Just yeah, handing us, goodie bags as we go out the door.
Welcome to Rochester.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thanks for staying at my house. Here's some free records.
Yeah. Nobody leaves without a record.
John's good dude, man. Love John.
Oh yeah.
But you got another question or anything?
Yeah, Jason, I just want to ask you real quick. What the that 2022 No Chance EP you did with Lockhart, is there going to be more coming?
Yeah.
It's really great. I mean, it's so different from just pure AOR. I just got hip to that over the last few weeks. That's really good shit.
Thank you. It honestly it doesn't have much to do with me other than I play bass on it. Devin wrote those songs probably 15 years ago, or
Wow.
at least 10 years ago. And he had these demos forever, and I would encourage him, you should record these properly and release them. So I was kind of the force behind getting him to actually record and release them. And because of that, he asked me to play bass on them. So I did. For the last year, he's been recording a full-length record, which is apparently almost done, but I'm yet to do bass tracks on it. So
Okay.
that's where we're at with that. But yeah, that's all his music. I'm just kind of like
Right.
pushing him to get it done, basically,
Get
because
it
I like the
out.
music.
Yeah.
I like it. I like what he's doing.
You guys need some pastel blazers on the next
Yeah,
album.
sure.
No, it is
On a
good stuff. That's a good question, Butch. I was kind of curious about that too.
on a similar note, I actually just heard the cover you did of Paris is Burning, which is holy shit, like my favorite Dawkins song of all time, and you guys slayed it. Like, how did that
Thank you.
come about? That's all freaking awesome.
I remember I wanted to do Don't Close Your Eyes, but
Oh, that would have been great.
somehow we ended up doing Paris. And when we did it, we tried to do the original version from the 1981
Yeah.
version of the album. So a little bit more raw and stripped down than
Right.
the 1983 version. But I don't know, maybe Ian remembers why we
Well,
ended
I
up.
think we did Paris is Burning because I know you wanted to do Don't Close Your Eyes, but it's just that, being in the jam space, like hammering back some beers and just, you know, playing that song from memory. Whereas Don't Close Your Eyes is a bit more, there's a bit more to it, I think.
Yeah, even
So
Donnie couldn't sing. Donnie couldn't remember the words when I saw him in 2016.
Yeah.
He sang the same verse twice, and sure enough, it was excluded from their DVD release.
Of course.
yeah, like a lot of the cover songs we've done, um, I, there are very few that we were like, okay, let's go home and learn this. A
Yeah,
lot of them just come together in the jam space, like one of us just starting to play a riff, and then we'll just start getting it together. But like, yeah, it's not something where it's it's really thought out and
yeah,
like,
probably
yeah,
just
let's
the easier to learn songs, I think,
Yeah.
end up being
yeah,
covers.
and I don't really like going home and like dissecting songs
Right.
that I really like. I kind of takes away the magic or something. I don't know. I
Sure.
don't really
Sure.
like knowing what.
Once you cover a song, it kind of ruins listening to it for you.
Yeah, yeah,
Because you're not listening for fun anymore. Now you're listening
No,
to it and critically, and yeah. I don't know. My favorite cover you guys did was Die Hard from Venom. I cranked that one up. That's always a good song to just get you going nuts.
yeah. That's another drunk jam space song.
no. Die
Is it?
Hard was at the end of the In Ruin session, wasn't it?
I mean, that's how it came about. Like
Right.
us just
Okay.
jamming it. It was like, yeah,
I think it was
we're just in the.
a one take shot though at the end of the In Ruin
Yeah, because
session.
I'm tuning my guitar for like 3 minutes at the start of the song. It never
Yeah.
begins. Like, but yeah, that was definitely one take. Yeah, the solos played like on the rhythm track. Just yeah, that was yeah. We got a little bit of time at the end of the session.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not record this? But was it before we recorded it that we played it with Mantis?
Oh
We
wow.
played it with we played it with Mantis in 2014. So I don't know, we recorded the album in 2014. So
Mm,
I think we recorded the album in the summer though. And Brofest was in the winter or the spring, so
right.
it was probably
Um,
before we recorded it.
yeah, yeah. So that Brofest, we were playing. Um, it's all these old new wave of British heavy metal
Yeah.
bands,
Yeah.
and then they threw us and Vulture on there. Um,
I think we were the
but
first Canadian and US bands to play the festival.
uh-huh.
I think prior to that, it had just been the new wave of British heavy metal bands.
Yeah. So we're sitting backstage and uh Mantis and Tony Dolan
Yeah.
walk in. It was Adam Kraft. We were sharing a backstage room with Adam Kraft. And they knew who we were. They were asking about some incident in Brazil that had happened the previous fall. And anyway,
Should we not speak of that? I don't know.
oh, we can talk. We've told the story before, but yeah, we were kind of after hanging out with them for a bit, and these guys are like really nice, and we go off and we're like, should we ask Mantis to play Die Hard with us, or we just wanted him to come up on stage and go Die Hard, because he's got that hilarious, well, the voice from like Hammersmith 85, where he's
Yes.
just
Yep.
the mic is just like completely blown out when he's yelling into it about God knows what. And yeah, but Miles went up to him and he's like, "Hey, Jeff, you wanna come up and sing Die Hard with us?" And he's like, "Even better, I'll play guitar, mate." And he was like ready to go. And his guitar was only like a half step out from our tuning, so he just tuned it down. And then before we went on, he cornered me in the hallway, and he's like, "Show me how you play the riff, like the Die Hard riff. Yeah, play it." He's, because I've never seen anyone play it right. We're like, oh, yeah.
Put you on the spot.
Oh man.
But I was also thinking, like, come on, it's the Die Hard riff. Like, okay. So I play it pretty confidently, and he's like, "It's wrong. It's wrong." And he apparently there's like this tremolo picking in it that you can't hear because it's like, buried under all this neat record sludge. But yeah, he corrected me. So I did change the style of the riff, but but it was funny when we went on stage finally, and Jason goes, we got any, this is like a classic Jason stage banner thing, but we got any, insert band name here, fans here tonight. And then we play one of our own songs. And then we got people coming up to us after the show saying, "Hey man, I love that Anvil song you guys played." And we're like, "Oh, that was actually a Cauldron song." We're just... But Jason goes, "We got any Venom fans here tonight?" And then we started playing our own song, but somebody told me later that Mantis came running out on stage like, "Girl." And then Tony had to grab him and bring him off stage, and there's definitely a bit of confusion there. But then you said it again, and then we like, hey. But it went over pretty smooth. Like, yeah, it was good. Good time.
You guys not only played with Mantis, but you confused the hell out of him too.
Yeah, he fell for one of the classic Cauldron stage banner tricks.
It's tremendous.
Actually, I think you guys did that when you were here in 2013. It was a Monday night in Milwaukee, which that's a roll of the dice. But
Right.
I think you guys were like, to the 10 people that showed up, you were like, "Are there any Rush fans here tonight?" And then I think you played Die Hard instead right out of that, and everybody was looking at each other like, "What?"
Yeah. We'll do shit like that until like other bands start stealing it from us. Then that's what makes me come up with something new.
That's good stuff, though. That's what that's
I
what
don't know.
makes
I stole all my shit from Ozzy though, so it's only fair,
Well,
right?
I like your latest. Before we went to Hell's Heroes, we were joking about stage banner, and but you were saying you wanted to write stage banner so shitty that nobody would steal it. It's like that. So that was what we were doing going into Hell's Heroes. Like, let's have the worst stage banner. And my favorite one didn't make the cut, which was, "All right, let me hear you. Shut up."
Let me hear you shut up.
Butch, I think
Jason,
Butch, you
honest
got
to
one,
God,
don't you?
honest to God, this is one of my favorite 10 stage banner moments ever. It was the show you played here at that, with Manic Ritual and In Force early on, and I swear I howl every time I think about it, but I don't know what songs you're in between, but I just remember you saying, "How many of you people out there have to take a shit?"
Yeah,
I was like,
I probably had to take a shit.
it was something like that. You're like, I'm rocking a shit my ass right now, but I'm up here playing for all of you. I'm telling you, it was like the show that's definitely that's one of my favorite things ever. It was so funny.
Yeah, that's probably from when people were stealing your stage banner, so you're out with stuff.
Right. We were
What
probably
didn't
touring
belong.
with Enforcer. And
Yeah.
But
Oh
I like
man.
the Enforcer versions of Cauldron stage banner. They're fun. There's something gets a little bit lost in translation.
Did they take some stuff from you guys?
It was more like just, a bit of like, unity, brotherhood on the
Yeah,
road where it's like, you're saying stuff to make the other bands laugh.
that's awesome.
Um, so yeah, I think, we're just, yeah.
Hey, we
All
stole it
users.
all from somewhere too.
Yeah, it all gets borrowed at some point and recycled and oh, that's good stuff. Butch, you got any other questions?
Man, I'm not. I was gonna ask just a couple things, but they're kind of mundane, really about like just from my perspective, Jason, in terms of like you guys talk about partying on the road when you have to sing every night. How do you balance all that out? Do you do any kind of? Are you a singer that kind of like warms up and has a routine? You just go out and just let it rip, and however you are that night is how you are. Because
No, I especially on the longer tours, I got to do my warm-ups and try not to drink too much, kind of take care of myself. I'm usually the first one to bed, first one up as well. But no, I definitely got to watch myself on tour because there's been times where I lost my voice and
yeah,
actually in 2016, just before the bus crash, it was actually in Milwaukee.
Yep.
We came off stage. All our gear got thrown out in the parking lot. I don't know, it was like minus something. It
It
was
was
like a
fucking cold.
blizzard.
Yeah, it was really cold that
It
night.
was January. So I'm in a t-shirt soaked in sweat, loading the gear into the trailer. And that's kind of where I got sick. And we just kept going like night after night, show every night until I got laryngitis, I think, in Winnipeg. I had to go to the doctor and he's like, if you try to keep singing, you might lose your voice permanently.
wow,
So we had to cancel a couple shows after that. And then we had for about the next week, we had guys from the other bands on tour singing for us just so we could keep playing.
Sure.
right.
But yeah,
I think Dan from Stryker did
he did Calgary uh, or Edmonton. He did Edmonton.
Edmonton.
And then we had a couple guys from Enforcer fill in after that.
Yeah, Joseph did some songs. I think it wasn't like a full set, but there was one
Yeah,
show where it was
Vancouver
just
and Portland. We
there was
had
one
guest
show that was
singers.
me and Miles doing vocals, which I think that was like Regina, and it was
That's a good place to
I
do it.
yeah, I just couldn't wait for the show to end.
But we did have to cancel Calgary. I remember that. That was the worst.
We set up our merch though. That's the best part about touring, just setting up merch and leaving. That's but you had that sign that said, "I can't talk. I have
That was
laryngitis."
Edmonton.
That was,
Calgary, I didn't even go to the show. I stayed at my sister's house and
but
just
that was a great idea. Like that's like a get out of jail free card. Like
oh
just
yeah.
showing that to some Punisher. Yeah, sorry, just putting that card in their face.
That's our
I'm
best
not going to
advice.
talk.
If you're a
Yeah.
singer, just carry around a sign that says you can't speak.
Well, for anyone in a band, if you're in a band, just have a sign like that. Bring it,
Can't
bring
talk
it
to
to
you.
every show. Yeah.
All right, Jason, do you still have? I know outside of Lockhart, did you had Chainbreaker going or another band like that,
Oh, that
right?
was Ian.
Oh, Ian, you're doing Chainbreaker. Okay,
Yeah,
my bad. Is that
that
still
was no. We we stopped playing in like 2019.
okay?
Um, but it got to a point where I just had to pull the plug on it, or I just
Just too
quit because
much.
Well, it was, it was fun, but we'd show up to the jam space and there'd be like there'd be a blowtorch out and hot knives. I'm like, okay. And it was just it was getting to the point where we were fucking up songs that we've been playing for years, and
Sure.
it was totally getting to be a waste of time.
Okay.
And yeah, it wasn't good for my health, and I had to stop doing
I
it.
gotcha.
But we did record an EP that never came out, which I thought was our best stuff. So I don't know. Maybe one of these days.
Well, fire it onto a tape, put it out.
Yeah.
There you go. Now, is Miles still doing Witch Rat, or is that kind of said and done?
I think he's still filling in here and there for them.
Okay.
I think they have two drummers, so they like alternate
Okay.
based on their schedule. I don't know. But I really don't know. I think they've got a new album coming out. I know he was in the studio with them.
Yeah, he played on it, as far as I know.
Cool.
Yes, but he's not going to be touring with those guys, I don't think, because he's busy as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With kids at home, I don't know how old all your kids are, but are they aware of like what dad does, and are they into music? Like, I know having four myself, it's always interesting how they grow up and what they glom onto, and I'd just be interested to hear about that.
Oh, my kid's singing all the time. We actually, it's a couple years ago now, but we did a music video for the ABC song
That's
for the
awesome.
talent show at school. But no, he's always singing. He's always playing his keyboard, or he'd, he'd probably exceed me. It's great.
Awesome.
Yeah, my kid's 2, and she's just within the past couple months discovered Cauldron music videos. I
Uh,
I put one on for her, and now she's always saying, "Sit on Dada's lap and watch Cauldron video," or not
Oh,
Cauldron, but Dada's music video.
yeah.
But her favorite song right now is "I Like Trucks," and it's from this kids songs VHS that I had when I was a kid. It's from like '85.
Wow.
It's on Viewmaster Home Video.
Wow.
wow.
But yeah, all these songs from just watching it, like putting it on for her and watching it again, like I Like Trucks. That's a heavy hitter. There's another one called I Got Wheels, and just watching I Got Wheels, I still felt like this pain in my heart from seeing this kid on a BMX and just remembering like I want that BMX so bad. Just still like that exact feeling just came back. Like it was really odd. Um, but yeah, it's fun watching stuff like that and throwing on Gumby and
Yeah.
like yeah. But
Yeah.
I Like Trucks. That's number one right now.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jensen really likes he likes Bark at the Moon,
Yeah.
18 in Life by Skid Row. I think he was singing
Oh,
that this
nice.
morning. Moonlight Desires.
Oh,
What else? Those are probably his top 3. So he's on the right track.
Nice.
yeah. It's cool watching, like, through your kids' eyes and how they discover things, and especially
It's
for you guys, where you can show your kids what this is what dad did. That's got to be pretty fun.
it's funny the songs they take a liking to. It's not always what you think it's going to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just hear something once and then they're off with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Gene was singing a Chilliwack song recently and it wasn't like one of the big hits. It
Not
was
my girl or
no, and I was was like, what is that? Like she's going like, do it forever. She thinks it's called do it forever, but it's do it forever, do it. And it's called Don't Stop. I had to go through their greatest hits to find the song. It's like one of the last tracks. Yeah, Chilliwack. A lot of Chilliwack being played. Did Chilliwack make it over the border? I guess obviously.
They had a hit with
Yeah,
they had
My
a hit with
Girl.
My Girl Down Here was the one. Other than that, no, there's so many good bands from up there that like Saunters and man, I love this band Thundermug from the
Oh yeah.
70s that did like I don't know, like 3 killer records, but they like came out in like chopped up form. Like Orbit didn't even come out here in the United States. It was like they mixed the first album was like a down here was a comp of the first two. It was weird. I don't know, I was like those dudes and Coney Hatch kind of was big around here in Pittsburgh. Like Monkey Bars gets played on the radio constantly,
Huh.
but they
Buster
never made
Brown.
like a big they never made a big deal like into they toured the US, but they like never like made it big. But for whatever reason, that song in Pittsburgh, like I think because we're fairly close to, we're only 5 hours from Toronto, so
That was
Yeah.
big here too. Actually, the old cheesy cover band I was in used to play Monkey Bars, but that was on Milwaukee radio too. They made it over this way.
That band Thundermug opened for Kiss up here in '76.
I would have loved to have
Wow.
seen that.
Because my father-in-law went to he just uncovered a whole box of slides from when Kiss played Maple Leaf Gardens in '76 that he took.
Wow.
And he said Thundermug opened. I was like, Thundermug, and I had to look them up. But I don't think they played Thundermug on the radio.
I've never heard Thundermug.
Yeah, that's a deep cut.
I think that song Africa was like the only like kind of like hit that's the song that I first heard. I don't even know how I heard about them. Probably from some blog site talking about old 70s hard rock bands or whatever. I don't know. There's so much good music in the world. We talk about it all the time. It's like, we're gonna pass having not heard
I know.
Yeah.
an eighth of it.
I'm still discovering new shit. At 44, I can't believe there's all this stuff I haven't heard. It's always something new.
It's out there. You just gotta kind of dig,
Yeah. I'm always on the hunt.
I'll be right back, guys. Ian, you got this.
It's all
right, man.
No pressure, Ian.
I won't let you down, man.
Let's talk about Jason.
All right, now that Jason stepped away.
Speaking of taking a shit, anybody got to take a shit? Oh yeah, Moxie. That's another one. Moxie gets played down there, don't they?
Yeah.
I don't hear them too much on the radio, but they're one of those cult bands, like kind of like they always get thrown into the mix when you're talking about U.S. bands like Stars and Angel and Legs Diamond. Moxie is one of the ones. I think sometimes they're more known for that Mike Reno sang for them on that last record, which isn't very good.
Oh, right.
Well, it's not really their last record, but yeah, Moxie is cool, and there's just so much good stuff.
April Wine. You guys
Oh,
into
yeah.
Love April Wine. They they're playing with. I guess they're touring now with just Brian Greenway.
I was just gonna say that.
I would have liked to have seen him. I totally missed them. I'd like to see him just to see him. I know
Miles.
with him being the only guy from that classic lineup still in the band, but
yeah,
a lot of good songs.
Yeah, I feel like I've passed up so many chances to see them over the years with Miles Goodwin, and now it's like, I'd still see them if they were playing like a Rib Fest or something, but so, yeah. Kim Mitchell's got to save some for the rest of us, for the rest of the, those kind of bands. He's always playing those shows.
You guys talking about the Mitch?
Yeah.
Fuck, what I miss?
Max Webster. We're just talking about April Wine, Kim Mitchell.
Oh yeah, the Wine.
Yeah,
great stuff.
I was bummed about those dudes. Are like that's one of those bands that by the time that I was going to concerts in like, I think I saw my first concert in '84, so we'd already passed April Wine's peak here.
Yeah.
So I never got a good chance to see them. I think it would have been, and I still love like the um now why am I spacing on the name of the record now? It's the one that has This Could Be the Right One on it. I don't anyway, even up to that point, I still loved them, but they were like their fortunes had faded after, the record with I like to with
I
not
Like to Rock.
not that record, the see Power Play. After that record, it was kind of like
Mhm.
Right. I just got Harder Faster off Ian last time I saw him.
love that record.
Yeah. I stole that from Value Village.
I Like to Rock.
Before the Dawn is my jam on that one.
That's a good song too.
It's a lot of good songs on that record.
Yeah.
So what's the vinyl digging like near you guys? Is there some choice places to get some stuff or
No. It's been dried up for many years now. I actually switched to tapes like 2 years ago.
Oh, no kidding, huh? They're probably easily
Yeah.
available. Yeah.
Well, back in 2022, I got laid off and I was kind of looking for extra income, realized some of my records were worth quite a
Yeah.
bit. So I started selling them and just buying them back on tape.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of rekindled my love for cassettes.
Sure. Sure. Hence the Cauldron cassette releases.
Yeah. Now I want all the Cauldron albums to be on tape as well.
Nothing
That
wrong
was
with
that whole thing took me totally by surprise when the cassette revival
that. Yep.
started again. I bought everything on cassette in the '80s. I always kicked myself because although I loved them because they were great for the car,
Yeah.
great for the headset, but then I'm
Yeah.
like years later, I'm like, man, I'd be sitting on a gold mine right now if I had all this on vinyl. Like,
Yeah. Well,
and then I
I
had to
mean,
rebuy everything.
I started with cassettes too, and I've returned to cassettes like 35 years later.
I'm kicking myself for all the cassettes I got rid of because I had so many, demos from bands and, back when you could trade and everything. And I got rid of all that and I got rid of vinyl. I mean, we've all gone through that story of I traded everything in for CDs
Yeah.
and now I'm, trying to buy it all
I
back.
know.
And yeah,
My
that
mom
was,
used to complain that you're wasting all your money on those records. It's like now when I tell my mom what I sold a record for, I'm like, you see all that money I wasted? Fuck, you should have been encouraging me to buy more records. I'd be a rich man.
That and concert shirts, man. Woo.
oh my
Yeah,
God. Yeah,
tour
that's a
shirts,
market
for
into
sure.
itself. All right. This is just a dumb fun. You guys want to play a game here quick?
Yeah.
This is going to be a blind ranking. All right. So Jason and Ian, you guys can do this as a team. I'm going to show you 6 albums in some random order. You have no idea what's coming next, but you have to rank these albums 1 to 6. Okay. So
Okay.
think about it. Put it where you
Like out
think.
of like a 6 out of 6 instead of 10.
Go in with 6. 6 is good. 6 is it.
Are they
Let's
Kim Mitchell albums?
No, they're
Gonna
not
be
Kim
Kim
Mitchell.
Mitchell?
let's rate them out of 9. 9's a nice number.
Well, you got to like these are going to go in like a spot. So 1 through 6, whatever you guys
Okay.
think. Butch will keep
Mhm.
track. So
1
I'll
to
show
6.
1 to 6. 6
All right.
albums. You got to rank these blindly. 1 to 6. One
Number
being
one's the best one, right?
1 being the best, 6 being
Okay.
the least. All right. You never know what's coming here. All right. First one, number 1. Where are you going to put this between 1 and 6?
4.
I'm gonna put that at 5 because I know there's
4.
other shit coming that I'm gonna like more.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
Butch is keeping track. All right.
4.
Hang on now.
I heard I heard King that didn't make King's cut. That's kind of where they lost him.
Yeah, he was this was it. This is where he jumped off the priest
But
train.
that's my favorite Priest, I think.
That's a tough question, man.
But
King
but I'm
Class.
that
King
age. I'm
Class
that
is
age.
number
So
All right, next one.
Ooh, I know that's
uh,
high for you.
That's like what did I pick already? Four, five,
Yeah,
four.
you picked
That's
four for
okay.
Priest.
That'll be three.
Okay.
Okay, that's
Even
six.
that could go either way.
That's six for me.
Six for Ian. All right. All
Yeah.
right. Here we go. Next one.
Oh, uh,
That's four.
what did I pick? Five. I'm gonna go with five.
Ian
That's
says
the one with
four.
Daniel Decay on it, right?
All righty. Three to go here. Next one.
Want to talk about these records at all?
If you want to talk about them, absolutely.
Nah.
If you've got a personal story that goes with these, you go right ahead.
Oh boy.
All right.
Oh, is that To Hell with the Devil?
Oh, it is to
Yeah.
hell with the devil.
I actually listened to that this morning
You, we're on the same wavelength.
on tape though.
Of course, yes. All right. Where we rank in
Well,
Striper?
I
Oh
fucked
shit.
up. I guess that's number three for me. That should be number six.
Did I use number six yet?
You didn't.
Oh, six.
Oh, he's gonna
Man, you
throw.
can't mess with that title track though.
Man,
I
I
know
was
it.
thinking this morning, like they got the best bass drum sound
They do,
on
yeah.
that record. That bass drum is so punchy.
Butch and I did an episode about albums that would have gotten you called a poser back in the day, and that was a big one for me. But god
Yeah.
damn, man, you can't help but just air drum to that one. It's just huge, you know.
That used to matter, eh? Being called a poser, but now that
Yeah.
you're older, who gives a shit?
No, fuck, I'm a poser, man. I don't care
Yeah,
anymore.
poser too. That's what I do. I go around posing.
All right, here we go. Next one.
Ooh, that's a two.
Yeah, two for me as well.
All right. So what spots are left open for each of these guys, Butch?
Number one.
Both of you guys say that's what
That's
I
it.
thought at number one. All right, well,
So-
hopefully this works out then. What will it be?
Ooh, that's not number one, but
No,
I picked
It is
I
number
guess.
Whether you like it or not, it is.
Is there no Rush? You're gonna pick Triumph over Rush?
No, you know what? I
Actually,
almost did, and I thought that's going to be way too obvious, man. So I went with Triumph instead.
I got a story about that Triumph record though.
Okay.
On the back cover, that's a Polish war monument.
In
That was
Toronto?
down that was down the street from me and Jason's old place, and
Oh, no kidding.
we did some photos in front of it.
Really?
Actually,
They're in the Burning Fortune LP.
yeah, and the insert of Burning Fortune, we're standing in front of that.
Really?
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was our little nod to our number one favorite album of all time, Triumph Allied Forces.
And we have to warn you, we are publishing this, so whatever this lists, how they end up, that's going to print. That's just the way it is, guys. So you better start your promotional tour for Allied Forces immediately.
Wikipedia page is going to be like their biggest influence was Triumph.
Remember when Canada and the USA used to be Allied forces?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What are you guys
right.
doing to us?
Yeah. Don't look at me, man. I voted for the
nice-
smart one.
Oh man.
Nice
Yeah.
segue, Jason.
All right. Well, is there any words of wisdom? Is there anything you guys would like to say? I guess I like to at least throw it out there. It's good to hear that, you know, as long as Cauldron has been on hold for a while, it looks like there's still some gas in the tank, and we'll be seeing you guys at some point. Would that be fair
Yeah,
to say?
There's still riffs to throw at Jason for him to piece together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, as long as we stay alive, something will happen eventually.
Yes.
Nice.
As long as we all stay strong and stay healthy. Yeah, I agree. So, Butch, any parting words?
No, just I really appreciate you guys coming on with Mike and I, man. You know, I've been listening to Cauldron for a long time, so it's cool to have you on here.
Yeah, I know you guys
Sure.
typically don't do this stuff a whole lot, so we are very grateful.
Yeah,
that
we
you guys
definitely
jumped on
appreciate
with
that.
us. We're
Yeah,
very
because
No.
nobody asks us.
Well, most video stuff I turn down.
yeah.
It's just, but when it's kind of someone you know, then that's okay.
That's cool. Oh, seriously, man. Very, very much appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. So,
And you're
Yeah,
welcome on anytime you want. Anytime you want to talk about something, or whether you have something to promote or not. Like
Well,
if you
yeah.
want to talk about Triumph Records,
yeah.
Kim Mitchell, you can come on, sing "Go for a Soda."
We'll do a Rush special.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah,
We'll do
I
a
love Rush.
Canadian trio special.
I
We'll
used
talk
to
about
cut Geddy
Triumph
Lee's
and Rush.
grass. That's my claim to fame.
Did you
Get out
really?
of here.
I
What?
did, I did for like 6 or 7 years.
No way.
Wow.
Dude.
Yeah.
Okay, you've obviously you met the man because he had to pay you, right?
Well, I work for a company that does,
Oh,
but
okay.
I did meet him a few times. I was
Wow.
always, I was never a fanboy though
Yeah.
at his house. I did use the line trimmer and cut through his dog's shit one time, and it sprayed me all over the face. And I was like, you know what? Any other client, I might get a little upset, but this is Geddy Lee's
I
house.
I remember Miles saying that he saw Geddy like, opening the gate and pulling into the driveway, and then Miles looks up and waves at him, and Geddy's just standing in his garage and just hits the clicker, and it just goes. But he sees him just standing there unflinching until the door is just complete.
You can still see his feet as it gets to the
Yeah.
bottom.
Yeah.
Nah, he was super friendly. We used to shit in his yard. It was awesome.
Dude, the fuck? All right, seriously, guys? I mean, really? The fuck, dude? The fuck?
That's going to be the tagline on this for YouTube. Hear Jason Decay talk about shitting in Geddy Lee's yard.
Well, I mean, when you do landscape and you kind of only got so many options when you got to
True.
go. So
It's all
Geddy had this
fertilizer, right?
he had this brick fence with a cedar hedge in front of it. So we used to just go between the cedar hedge and the brick fence and dig a little hole, go for a shit, cover it up, and back to work.
Jason,
Can you
I gotta say,
go into
man,
a bit more detail?
I think that's
I
your
could,
actual
I
claim to
guess.
fame, man.
Damn.
How many people have shit in Geddy Lee's yard?
Well,
You're the only
you,
one I know, man.
Miles,
Just the guys from Cauldron.
Chris. Yeah, Chris Stevenson, our old drummer. Yeah, he was shitting in there too.
Oh man, that is fantastic. Well, we definitely should just have a Geddy Lee episode and you guys can tell us more.
Yeah, we'll
Oh,
get Alex
man.
Lifeson on. See.
Yes, yes.
He's
We'll
probably
throw a
shat
map
in
up-
there too.
He
Yeah.
probably shit in his toilet.
Throw a map up on the screen and just X marks a spot of everywhere someone shit in a Rush related location.
Oh man. This might turn into something. People are gonna be like, I want to shit in Geddy's yard now, man. We'll start taking walks.
You can. It's beyond the gate.
Oh God. Well, I guess that's a hell of a way to wrap things up. So
Be like a tour vacation destination.
there you go. Take a shit in Geddy Lee's yard. Visit Canada.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you so much. It's
Thanks,
been a hell of
guys.
a good time. So
Thanks for having us, guys.
Thanks,
anytime,
Mike. Thanks,
anytime.
Butch.
Thank
bet.
you.
All
Really
right,
appreciate
everybody.
Pleasure.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see everybody on the next episode of
For the sake
of
of heaviness.
Heaviness and shitting
One
in
day we'll
Geddy
get it
Lee's
right.
yard.
One day we'll get it right.
All right. Thanks again, guys. Really, really appreciate it. Keep in touch.
Yeah. Thanks for
Right on,
having
guys.
us.
Sure.
Anytime. We'll see you guys
Right on.
Later.
Later.
later.